Hey guys, good morning. This is Pawpaw. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get this story out before all my company gets down here or not. I see them kind of working their way down here. It may get kind of hectic when they get here. Maybe not. Maybe we'll make it. I'm going to give you a little background before I tell you this story. It's about Cuz. You guys all have met Cuz. He makes the wooden bowls and stuff. And Cuz and I were raised together. And I'm a little bit older than him, but you know, I always joke that I taught him everything he knows, especially the good stuff. He probably learned the bad stuff somewhere else. Cuz is a hard worker. Seriously, he really is. I want to brag on him for a minute. He is a hard worker. And he cut logs, timber, all of his life. With a chainsaw. Back in the days they had chainsaws. And he's retired now. But in saying that, you know, I taught school and I've done this and I've done that, but never made a lot of money. And I guess he didn't either. Our wives always had pretty decent vehicles. Now, I've never, to this day, owned a new truck. Never. I got a good truck. I got two good trucks. But I've never owned a new truck, ever. And I don't expect to. That's okay, I'm not complaining. My wife has got a nice car, and my kids have all got new trucks, new cars. They've always, you know, multiple times. And that's fine. Back in 1992, now I know I'm going back and remember that far back. I can. I'm sitting out in the yard, it's summertime, hot. It'd been raining a lot, mosquitoes were bad, but it's not so bad right there in the front yard, you know, out in the woods that eat you alive. And snakes are everywhere, not in the yard actually, but I'm sitting out there reading a magazine and drinking a glass of tea. Remember it like it was yesterday. And I see this brand new candy apple red, I guess you call it, jacked up Toyota pickup, all four-wheel drive. You can see them lugs, nuts, shiny, turning, coming very slow up my driveway, very slow. I mean, you see a big winch on the front, all-terrain tires. I mean, it was a beautiful truck. And I'm thinking, they must be lost because I don't know any rich people. I don't know anybody got that kind of money. It drives up and stops. Tinted windows, you couldn't see in it. The door opens, the driver's side, and this guy steps out. Now, the first thing I could see was this bright yellow Caterpillar cap, brand new, shiny, beautiful cap. Caterpillar, big cap right on the front. It comes around the side and it's Cuz. Starched shirt, starched jeans, shiny work boots. And he does this whole thing like you've seen these ladies in these showrooms. You know, you've seen them. You know, look what I've got. You know, let me set this here a second. Look. And he's pressing. He's kind of walking like with a press. Look. And I'm just shaking my head, thinking, dang, Cuz. Now I'm looking down kind of behind him, and you see if the police is coming, because I figure he stole it. And he walks over, he says, come see my new truck. Well, I'm sitting there in my old raggedy t-shirt on, and my old cap looked like I'd run over the lawnmower. My old shorts and cut-off shorts, my old white tennis shoes that used to be white, with no socks. I feel bad even walking out near this truck dressed like that, with him immaculate. But I do. And he starts showing me. It's all-terrain tires, 10,000 pound, maybe that's what he said. Dead weight winch, can pull that much weight, dead weight. Leather interior, four-wheel drive, jacked up Toyota pickup. Beautiful truck, beautiful truck. And I think he even went into how many horsepower it had and the gear ratios and all kinds of stuff. You know, just stuff he probably memorized on the way over. And it was a beautiful truck. I admit it was a beautiful truck. I said, it's awesome, cuz. And didn't think he'd ever offer me to get in it because of the way I was dressed. But he says, get in, I'll give you a little ride. Dressed like this, get in. Get in, cuz. Or pawpaw, whatever he called me. I probably had other words. But I got in. And we drive down the driveway real slow, and I know them lug nuts are going around like that on them wheels, you know, and everybody can see them. We get to the road, and he turns and goes down the highway to an old road called Shell Road. It's an old gravel type road. It had some bad places, not real bad because hunters used it, getting to and from their hunting leases. And it used to go to an old Shell oil company pump station on a pipeline way out there, which now is that subdivision, way out there. And we start going down it. I'm thinking, you know, it's a little bit slick, cuz, a little bit muddy. So I got four-wheel drive. And wait, I'm gonna try to do. He kind of throws his head back. I got four-wheel drive. All terrain tire. I want to chop him right in the neck because he throws his head back, and he don't normally do that. I thought he's just showing out. I want to reach over and chop him right in the neck when he throws his head back like that. Well, we get out there a long ways, and we went through some slick places, and the road ditches, deep old road ditches on both sides of the road, and now and then you look out, you see one of those big old cottonmouth water monsters coiled up on a log or swimming across it. And we saw a couple across the road. There's snakes everywhere. Lord, don't stop. There's snakes everywhere. I hate snakes. I can't be afraid of a snake. Yeah, I am. Mosquitoes. You couldn't roll the windows down. Thank goodness he had air conditioning. Mosquitoes was thick as a hair on Ivan's back. They were just, you can see them. Look like hummingbirds almost. It's big mosquitoes. Oh, they're scary. We get down to an old road called Wilson Road. It went back to an old ranch, the old Wilson Ranch. Been abandoned probably 50, 60 years at that time. And it's a little narrow, muddy looking little trail, and he turns up in it, and I said, cuz, I wouldn't go down. I got four-wheel drive, boy. I got a winch, 10,000 pound dead weight winch. We ain't gonna get stuck. And we didn't. We went all the way down there slinging mud. By the time we got to that ranch, old ranch house, the old ranch house is actually gone. The old barn, there's no log barn, almost it fell in. It's still there, what was left of it, and the old well. And amazingly, the old shrubs that Miss Wilson had planted probably 100 years before, crepe myrtles and stuff, beautiful, flowers all on them, were still there. And we got out and walked around looking to see if we found some souvenirs or whatever. But anyway, the old truck was just plumb muddy by that time, and muddy. Interior still spotless. We get back in and we head out of there. Instead of turning right and coming on back home, he turns left. The only thing left to the left was the old pipeline. And that pipeline in rainy weather looks like a long, straight river. It's low. And log trucks have always used it, hauling their logs back and forth from the woods up to the roads. You know, easy driving, open, straight. Sure enough, we get there, and it looks like a river, as far as you can see, both ways. So I figured, okay, we'll turn around and go home. No, he turns left right into that pipeline. And I'm saying, cuz, it's deep. It's gonna get deeper. It's gonna get stuck. I got four-wheel drive. He starts throwing his head back again like he does, you know, and kind of talking out of the side of his mouth, you know, and just I'm thinking, are you on drugs or something? You ain't never talked like that. All of a sudden, we ain't went 30 feet. 30 feet. And that truck just, down it went, all four wheels. And they're just turning. and throwing up water. We're sitting high center. He'd run off in where a log truck or something got stuck, I guess, and the old ruts must have been real deep. And his truck just sat down. We get out and water's coming in on the floorboard. That's how deep it is. Oh, I know he's upset. He's standing now in those nice shiny boots out there in water over his knees. I'm okay, except for mosquitoes eating me up when I get out. Bare legs. And he said, well, I just had to, there's no trees. You know, we're looking first off to winch it out, and there's no trees. There's no trees close. You know, half a mile down there's some trees. Back the other way, about a quarter of a mile, we see some trees. That winch ain't gonna reach that far. And he says, there was a sign, an old sign there on that pipeline, probably illegal, but he pulled it down. He's gonna use it for a base for his jack. And he has to get down on his hands and knees in that water. I'm loving every minute of it, but mosquitoes eat me up and I can't enjoy it. And he says, if you'll go down and find some limbs down there in them trees or some chunks of wood, I'll jack it up. We'll put them under the tires. We can get out of here. It was getting late. And the only thing I could imagine, back then, you know, there was no cell phones back then. My wife didn't know where I went. She didn't know I'd left. They would never come looking for me. And the only thing I could imagine is trying to walk out of there. Mosquitoes eating us up. Snakes biting us all the way home. Bad snakes, moccasins. Very aggressive snakes. My mind just, and I was actually getting a little angry with him. So I weighed down there. I tripped a couple of times and fell in the water. That's probably why my knees are messed up. And I get on down there and I do find some old limbs in those trees and a couple of old chunks of wood, rotten stumps or whatever. And I'm dragging this stuff up through that water, back up there to it. And he's got it jacked up pretty good. And we shove limbs and chunks of wood and we get all kinds of stuff under them tires. It lets it jack down. We're both wringing wet, we're muddy, we're dirty. And it sets down pretty good. He says, I think we can get out. So he jumps in there, he puts it in reverse, and sure enough, it backs right out. Back onto the road. I get in soaking wet. Those brand new leather seats are muddy, they're wet. He's driving out, the water still dripping off his elbows. We don't talk all the way out. This is silence. I'm still trying to beat mosquitoes off of me. Thank the good Lord I didn't have to walk, you know. We got out, snakes ain't gonna bite us. We finally get up, we drive up my driveway, and I get out, he don't say a word. I don't say a word. We both he's probably embarrassed, and I'm kind of angry that he'd do that. He'd take me off of that kind of stuff. And he turns around and he drives off, and I'm looking at the truck going down the driveway, and I'm thinking, what a difference in that hour, maybe a little over, from the time that truck drove up that driveway and as it's driving down. Driving up, it was just sparkling, clean, brand new, right out of the showroom floor. Awesome. Going out, there's water running out of the tailgate. There's water running out of the doors. And there's mud and grass hanging underneath. I go in, take a bath, put dry clothes on, tell Gigi about my experience. And she says, you didn't even tell me you left. I didn't know where you went. I said, yeah, I'm sorry, because we could have really been in a bind out there. We could have gotten, you know, we couldn't have had nobody would find us where we was at. It'd have been a long walk. That night, I'm sitting there watching TV. Fixed to go to bed. Phone rings. So I'm gonna give you a little background real quick. Cousin and I were fans of a man who used to write. I think he's passed away now, I think. Patrick McManus. He wrote for Outdoor Life. An awesome author. Yeah, Arthur, not Arthur. Awesome. He wrote humorous stories of his life growing up, kind of like stuff I tell y'all about, but he always put some humor in it. And some awesome stories about him and his friends. And he wrote for Outdoor Life, and then he published all these different books. And I have most of them. In fact, I have one that he autographed. And Cuz has the same books. We both would order, and compare. We'd sit around together on rendezvous and stuff and talk about what all, we'd read and stuff like it. Really funny stuff. And some of the stuff that he'd tell you, you could just picture it happening. And anyway, he called and I answered the phone and he says, "Hey," I thought he was calling probably to apologize for being such a doing that to us. "Get out book such and such," and told me the name of the book. "Look up page such and such." And he hung up. So I go to my little library, in my office there, in the little library. Got a few books, and I scan it. Yeah, there it is. I pulled the book out and I turned that page. The title was "The Whiner," the guy that always whining about stuff. I guess he was trying to let me know I'm the whiner. Well, I had a reason to whine. I had a good reason to whine. He takes me off out there in the mosquito-infested woods with snakes everywhere and gets us stuck. Yeah, and then I'm the one having to pack wood up there to him. Yeah, the whiner. I had a good laugh about it. But we talk about that a lot sometimes. We talk about the old times we got into, him and I. But I was never so not happy that this happened to us, because I didn't have a new truck and he did. But I want him to know, no matter what you're driving, it can get stuck. It can get stuck. All right, I'm gonna cut this off, guys. I hope y'all enjoyed it. This is a true story. It's true to the word, all the way through it. And he may deny it, but he knows it's true. He knows it's true. And I love him, and we have so much fun together, but he'll deny this, I know. I know him. As my old friend would say, I knowed him. Catch you guys later. Take care. I was closing this up and fixed to get it out to you guys. I thought of something else he told me, and I thought I had to add this. 2 or 3 times I said something about us getting stuck. And, he'd tell me about the 4-wheel drive. Then he'd always throw in, got that 10,000-pound winch, boy, it'll suck us right out. Then he'd throw his head back and holler, "Suck us right out." I think he was trying to be profane. He wanted to be profane for some reason. Well, it might suck us right out, cuz if there's a tree within a half a mile. I love you guys. I had to throw it in here because I always think about how he said that every time I think about this story. I'll catch you guys later. Y'all have a great day.